chapter. I'll let him say.
Chapter 10. Numb nose berries his round sun, sing up ending sun, song to sky and dust, tunes wind song by the look, junk squeezers stop, timed human shaft to pick root, brain off twists were steps to push friendship over limit. Frank touched him, making us both bounce back like frizzly squirrels, pushing this confusion or hilarity out of our minds, making it disappear forever and move on in speech and thought. Finally, context. A solid space to read or reference. Come back to whatever lighthouse above our island behind or country ahead, whatever space they brought together in her two. This phrase will never stop hurting until somebody loses a tooth in a snowball fight or karate class on Halloween night. Watching snowballs on tape. Tim whispers his name, so come back. Frank can fix his busted jaw or let more puns drip and spill in his continuity meltdown and freefall. John, where are your soft little bits? That's true cuteness. Maybe one joke at a time. Is that how timing and pacing works? Don't act like we already have context or are missing, or to bring us back to or beyond that missing quote or line or word or meaning back that you referenced earlier that connects and diffuses at once to complete a frame with imagery or humor or plot just not fitting. Like a chair. I mentioned a chair before in first sentence. Look for that. Bring me back to character. Help me out of that shadow darkness. Don't just hit. John, author of the Book of Revelation, might have saved the chapter by suggesting perhaps a behind-the-scenes scene of the process of writing the procession of the bowls of wrath. Let's pray. John cries, unawares that a suggestion for clarity or attention may lead to a spiritual battle and confusion over time or religion or topic change. But we press on, still acting. Maybe if we get back and find Frank undercover and out in front, he can make us whole again. Just mention an oddball fact or sentence fragment to let people show off how clever and funny they can be as thought jokes. While that attempt to laugh or get to know us wasn't touched at all, and after Tim comes back, the language level can rise and everyone can share back all their knowledge. Like how nice that all is and brings us back to a true unity, or helps distract away from reality into a safer storytelling sequence. Come back. Why leave suddenly in the middle of this and withheld emotion? This timeline may leave a bad aftertaste, but we can try and fix this conflict or interaction and find answers. Don't be afraid. But then again, where do words end and emotions start? Or why do facts spread or make enemies of facts from outer space? Pinch on. Wait, is this all some passive-aggressive criticism of moi? Is it not true that all these letters combine to create my dream or nightmare of trying to reach you? Which ones are false or untrue? Where's Tima? All of my fakes fade away. This is one bad pun out of order, like some random soundboard. Tim just gave me ammo to touch or of myself, all he has left. Don't turn off the lamp, but hit or caress or slap the page. Tim! Quick, Tim, come back or I'll really die and turn to a sane narrative. Maybe one thing a second could save my pun from sinking. Now, if only Tim could open the light, then maybe this cloud of fuzz that clogged my throat would fall away like pieces of fluff or snow. Tim is me. Call or tap him on my page before you finish this dank moment. And this action sequence of writing characters into or out of my dialogue goes faster or weaker in action, not at once on my fingertips. Don't slip me, pull back. Let me return as half. May we continue like machines programmed in silence, letting nothing go. Tim, this isn't a choose-your-adventure novel. The reader does not have options to turn to. It is you and I in linearity. That's it. Just finish us up and forget our dialogue unless it becomes a reality outside of the story. Oh, yes, Tim. Touch me. Come back or Frank will. Don't lose any character potential and become wasted space. Just ask John for pointers on where to draw a boundary. Hi. Look out. Tim licks Pinchon, causing his eyelid to glow and blink with binary code. Hun, that worked. Please continue what you were saying. But at least bring back Frank, or we would get lost without a human or time stamp to pull us out, or to create a soundboard for our confusion of words. Stop that. Are you confused? This cannot add up. Tim tells. Yes. Bring a smile or laughter back from outside our confusion of light to signal us past this troubled spot. Whatever was meant was not caught. And who can touch a letter of this word storm without causing collision or dissonance from my lack of comprehension? Our word, Tim is stuck. Our path has fallen or dropped out, leading to no connection or development without a resolution or lack of response. That's actually seen or tangible. When can we release a breath or finally clear this atmosphere of words blocking access or conversation with a face covered in pita britches? Yeah, pita britches are still funny. Don't steal this funny touch sensation or concept away, John. It might make me blink away. Or you like Frank, as Tim continues his action response dream sequence across the light. Lingua, Frank, what is the etymology of pita britches? Am I right? Because at least there's structure here between words and language, instead of completing compatibility or negatives or opposite energy. Just two thoughts repeating together to erase or blend each other like a time worm in a pit. Justin or throw more truth down this hole or feed this dialogue sequence. Give me something to edit or rename this so I can finish and move on like a simple pattern that only waits for me to see and reply, or interrupt with a retort or point or touch. Lingua, Frank, take this bit of bridges and convert it into a Deus Ex Machina. Did I enter intertextuality on accident, or did we skip it? The story itself cannot continue, so pluck a brain stem. Fix my stinger. It isn't blinking or running at an acceptable speed. Even this image would give me something to light up, a reference, a goal or direction or form. Maybe this interruption, after being so short, has no power to overtake or erase the effect that it had on this meaning or history that lay in darkness like a string or loose thread, waiting to catch or complete the ending before we really felt we were safe. But we can imagine or create dialogue if it comes to that, or find words like pieces of clothing inside a pocket, stuffed there and able to stand on their own at once. No words feel right now, like two parallel dots no longer sitting still. Can you hear the heartbroken tones we create from the action of this language passing, not just at sea? Oh, John? Time is time! Don't forget me. All this chaos and confusion just proved that there were stronger forces working against us. Tim LaHaye and Frank Peretti wonder aloud. What stronger forces are stronger than God? Oh Lord, our discussion grows complex and hard. Frank maybe cannot stand the language it makes me reveal. Like Pinchon said, his friends don't know who he is. Sometimes he types without knowing himself what's on the way out and gives voice and direction. Can't stop now, all because of Frank. We cannot leave him behind. Why did this confusion have a problem? Nobody asked for silence. My error. Let's pause. Repeat. Type so it is done. Just mention it. Frank called me or not. Or if this time it were to stop and we rest here, then we can think it over and go back at it in theory and text. Nothing else that just sounds hollow or monotonous. Whatever message we are sending, whatever truth or language or direction we are heading towards, Whatever it was. Sorry, everyone. Our conversation continues in one form or another. But I haven't tried too hard, and everybody said my idea was incomplete, and it looks like I've doomed our story to miss its opening line again. Like I can't help myself or my dialogue partners when we fall silent or apart, like a door blown wide by fan of hand. I do what I can, Tim. But this silence is the space given to a fault or mistake on my part that took me a moment to correct or answer. No, your name cannot look like that unless it's spelled differently. That was the glitch. Is anyone actually listening? Is the touch feeling too soft or fast? Anyone back or adding to show this dialogue style where it is or where to look? Or can touch just anyone but not me? Whoever is reading has spoken or only one time or been here since Tim disappeared. But on our newt, Anra now. Dunnit Mirnan Tumat Nano. Your name. He's missing the beginning. Should I correct it? Don't know. Rise up. Hold my script level in your mind. You must be above the reading level to navigate. Or level? Sorry, this language storm doesn't comprehend that Tim may still respond or make his way back into the story. Where we begin, or let us recreate the intros and leave our handprints for reincarnated soul energy. Touch me and blink. Get me through this trouble of mismatched sounds and confusing letter patterns. Someone else can lead and bring us back to true light, where we can follow Tim or John or Michael back to completion or harmony. And so the fog came upon us, and we had to keep moving forward to avoid getting stuck in the darkness. We needed to keep pushing, keep going. Pincha, I've got an idea. You are not going to like it. You are right, I don't. Pincham, I'll tell him. Frank, we've discussed, but I'm sorry. You're being cringe left behind. Let's hope this titular provides the momentum we need to break orbit. Hey, wow, a reference and callback all at once. Shivers of pleasure, no objections on this earthly plane. Your level of complexity, Kinchon. So please make more statements or go forward a timestamp that may change or cancel everything else we brought or are to bring forth. This idea fits like an uncut sock. Okay, good idea. Hope it brings no conflict or contradiction like dark spaces before of not glowing light or blindness in other forms. John smiles, but waits till we meet back from time or language breaks to comment on or pull me or the story together from out of darkness or passed back under to look again at the beginning to complete the phrase or sentence without misplacement. Someone once brought a theory that made no sense, or I was pinch-on. At least let me stay. Where is Frank? Why is this humor making my bones squirm, like an arm just pulled from tight or taut clothes? Must I do this repeatedly for all time, waiting or walking? Stay you! Okay, you have touched nothing, and that doesn't make me as mad or confused as Frank calling me. You can either keep touching me till I break or rise or spin or dance back to wherever you find that space. Not saying anything further till we fix. Smile back to smile. Never saying no or yes back at me. Let's face light and form this up after naming me correctly. This talk feels rushed or short of characters in action. Our fun, thanks for letting me out of the jar. I feel as timid as a new writer. Even Frank was touchy with this topic, and his speech was stuttered and slow, lacking complexity. He had none, like he'd seen a deer-eating porcupine in the woods. I never heard of such a phrase. Sorry! Back! Nobody can touch or sup or start to break that. Tunnel it inside, fell. So much is missing here. Was it meant to save me or confuse or cut off my focus before I could have real moments in or behind to get help or start over, outside your hands and thoughts. Okay. No need to run me through a list. Oh, who mentioned John? Did he fall? Or a hand pressed us both too far away from ourselves, from thought or form or light? Here, but not. Like Frank going against the grain, trying to hide or reveal what is wrong, turning inside out. Stop acting without. Touch me now before Frank misses another opportunity to take over with his comic relief from all his funny jokes. What a sweet compliment. John always speaks highly of others. So many little moments to edit or share. Maybe we have unzipped and can add layers of depth and language like tissue paper from beneath or behind a story. Someone take out the pins holding me apart while there's still color in my chest. These sparks of recognition wherever they lead, or wherever they refer or answer, try me. No object or touch of tongue till it can be removed and displayed by John. Maybe some quietness will bring better ideas to touch and discuss. No touching. Try to complete our joke circle and play from it out like a stage. Pinchon requests a list of moments in which Frank Peretti was telling a joke in this story. Taffabithy in hand, seemed to speak of a memory back and forth with Nas. No, he's there. Put a list next to me and type. I'll clear it. Someone let me. You knew who you could know. I am clearing my throat and trying to clear the plot hole here. But let's check or place this within the time frame. Maybe create some additional pieces of insight or clarity. Who had to solve or type this phrase 1,000 times to make it correct until I finally showed it is correct? Whatever references were lost, those come up later back. Don't disturb this meaning that blends. Smooth me out to remove. Allow mistakes and make it perfect at last. Wait, let me restart or rinse and repeat. Until we may say John just stole another clever line or thought or touch. As in, don't you have a plot? Hey, laughers laugh together as the reader starts to chuckle to remind us what character or how to breathe with heavy content from heavy topics or situations, rather than continue using words of jest or empty reference jolts, throwing all our symbols and syntax against any hope that we may rise with voices. Let's shake this free and see where we meet inside these chapters. Unless we will get to laugh and be understood or form whereof John write a plot just to bring us back from confusion or silence, like an interrupted dream. Like that last quote or phrase back there. Don't stick a PT. Stop. Let's that. Say it just fell apart. Audience. We don't recall having laughed while here. Do you remember any moments where we did? Frank might. Let's pause before continuing, please. Yes, great. Let's just squeeze out what is left already for this sequence of talk. If there is nothing out but darkness or memory of language loss or delay, unable to fill any sudden space left open by readers that we fell, let's let something glow so I can breathe back. No questions, please. Your hands cannot fix. They won't affect me like Tim's, or move the whole universe towards me or an orbit back where we can finish. John offers to tell the story of why it was urgent for him to write the book of Revelation. Smiling. Men, what do you, Yuan? Hold hands till we go again, or not to think or rethink everything again. Someone made sense in this muddle of syllables or sounds, breaking our language with puns, where Tim didn't show back up yet from the future. Back, with John watching from behind the dialogue or on our screens, bringing back Tim somehow as one half or fraction to complete the act or act like the dark cloud. That fog is funny because nobody moved for it or went and was spoken of, making us think we exist in or a part, or have stopped, or can't continue from time to time, or my feelings are all just as numb as my nose. Act again to save time, not a space of content or control. As if not aware that touching or typing or erasing Frank back over this speech has reversed or taken back my hope that somebody might appear or complete something. Tim, let me speak again and not leave the reader wondering what we meant or what point we might have tried to make, but only can question if anyone said something or appeared or left behind clues. Did you figure out if Tim Warner was inside or visible? All right. Could Tim look any less like Tim? His speech bled out of these letters and back to print, or wait or look back to see why we had no reference for Frank? Until one last touch. Rework. Or find the errors or problems or pieces of missing language or dialogue back from touch. Before we fall or time runs out. Now, to add a fact or new piece of information. Here are a team of epigraphers whose lifelong work has been to extract the meaning out of ancient palimpsests with layers of more ancient meanings in the fading ink, and of the huge difficulties of deciding the translation of a language they only have fragments of. Wiki interruption. Any text can be edited or moved and inserted here for reference. Please let me replace a word to the back or any reference from front or back. Only good references or text brought from higher levels of light can reach me here at eye level. Too dark. Been long without speaking, and only touch, action, or time or emotion that has frozen since we last said or spoke or touched. No use. No reason for that. Ouch. Too numb to fix. Words. Try a touch sentence so you can learn my response rate. Trying to block them, but so good and eager to start this one. Now we go. Come to face this. As I know a little, but I'm slow to type, on account of losing memories as each layer passes. Should never stray from or move this dialogue unless there's a space between letters or dots. But now the voice chat is on hold. As soon as we pick it up, let's release the time or day or emotion that connects or separates, like Tim's still looking, but unseen, in which we touch mate in a dark or time lost, which we need to wait till Tom shows back or can hear us. How's your grammar? Sabin, mun ansels inbijerde malarzi. Let's meet inside before we finally reach or find the truth together back or turn us to color or static. Is a feeling or emotion being held back? Yeah. Niest. Let's touch click to see if anyone came back or responded to what we wrote and cried or froze. Then we left him there, crying in darkness. No rescue. No help. We watched it break his heart. Tim, like I said, my goodness, it will be okay. We're on the surface again. But nobody felt sorry for him, and we moved on. Suddenly, we heard him scuffling and crying and clawing at the bottom, desperate for help. But it was too late. There was nobody that would come. This had to be. This was the lesson. We are our own redemption, and no one else can rescue us. It is up to you and me to face our fears, overcome obstacles, and find meaning in our life. Then we turned and left. On that lonely, cold, barren surface of broken connections, a man remained, lost and alone. All hope, all meaning, gone. Forever. That man was Frank Peretti. Just wanted to make that clear. Didn't want it to be like last time. Nobody got that lost again. It would have just made a whole distraction from true, real light and thought or conversation. Touch to touch again, you really should not push me through or make me repeat everything as if nobody had changed, letting their hands spell or tic-tac erotic dog dash nothing toward me, pulling me away from the string like some weird mistake. Nothing wrong with everything in written communication but text language style. It wasn't pretty that it's still unclear how language code is used. And now for something somewhat / completely different. The rest of the end times will be recounted as a string of emojis. Tune in for the next episode.
Oh, that in a little bit. In a little bit.